That's KMPC News, brought to you by Roto-Rooter. I'm Ken Beck, and now the hullabaloo.
Thank you so much, Kenny. Nowadays, when you do a show, you got to tell everybody ahead of time what you're going to be doing on that particular show that you'll be doing. I don't know why that is, but that seems to be the new thing for the 1980s. So you list all the things that you're going to be talking about during that next couple of hours. Now, one of the things that we're going to be talking about is that an archaeologist in Beverly Hills has uncovered a stone tablet, and we believe this to be Zsa Zsa Gabor's birth certificate. He will be right here on this program at KMPC between now and 2 o'clock in the morning. There is a man in Sepulveda who has cashed in all the bottles under his sink, and he's going to buy himself a new Mercedes-Benz. He, too, will be on this program right here at KMPC. There's also a woman. This woman is so ugly, we will introduce to her before 2 o'clock in the morning. Now, this is one of the things about radio. She has a face for radio. She is so ugly that when she goes into a restaurant, they make her wear a tie. Now, we will have her here. She will grunt a few things for you before 2 o'clock in the morning, and along with all of that will be the hullabalooer and, of course, Wayne Dubois from French Aristocracy. The two of us. And by the way, if there's anything that you hear on this show in the next couple of hours that's repugnant to you, do not blame me at all. Blame Wayne Dubois. He is the producer of this program. I am just merely putty in his hand. But here is Barry Manilow. He's trying to get the feeling again, too.
My woman is coming back home late today. Could you maybe give me something? 'Cause the feeling is gone and I must get it back right away.
That's what we're going to do together here at KMPC. We're going to try to get that feeling again. Barry Manilow from 1976 at 12 minutes past 12 at 7:10.
There's never a convenient time to have a sewer or drain problem, and more often than not, it'll happen at the worst possible time, like when company's coming. That's an emergency, and that's the time to call me. I'm your Roto-Rooter man. I have the right equipment and training to solve the problem quickly and with no mess. So if you have a sewer or drain problem, call a pro. Call me.
Call Roto-Rooter, that's the name, and away goes trouble down the drain. Roto-Rooter, sewer service. Roto-Rooter, sewer service.
Roto-Rooter service throughout Southern California. Check the white pages for your radio-equipped Roto-Rooter man.
Now, wait a minute. You just do not schedule a Roto-Rooter commercial next to a Norm's restaurant. That is really dumb. You know what I mean? It's not done in radio. Well, it is here at KMPC. Right after the Roto-Rooter commercial, we go in to tell you that if you're out there late at night and you're saying to yourself, you know what I need is something to eat, and I'm out in Westwood, then what you want to hit is Norm's Restaurant in Westwood. Boy, have they got news for you this morning. This is the West Side area's most popular all-night restaurant. Just walk in and ask some of the people there. You're going to find some of the nicest people, some of the greatest waitresses in the world. They've always got a smile on their face at Norm's. You know why? Because they're getting a paycheck. That's why. And now they've got their Super Night Owl special from 11 p.m. to 4 a.m. in the morning. Now listen to what you get. For starters, all the coffee you can drink. Boy, your eyes bug out of your head. This coffee is the best coffee you can drink, too. It'll get you started just right. Then there's 3 freshly cooked eggs any way you like them. You want your eggs poached? Good. Poach your eggs then. Tell them to poach all 3. Now, I don't know if they'll accept poaching 2 and frying 1. That's really tacky. You know what I mean? I want 1 soft boil, 1 hard boiled, and poach 1, please. Don't do that. Make things simple for them. You know what I mean? Don't complicate these people's lives. Have your coffee in one of those coffee cups that says Norm's. And then you get your 3 freshly cooked eggs, 3 strips of bacon, 3 link sausages. And that's not all. Wait till you see the mound of crispy hash brown potatoes and a golden English muffin and jelly. Boy, this is great. And what do you get this all for? $2.49. That's all. All this great food. You'll find Norm's on Pico Boulevard near Sepulveda. That's Pico Boulevard near Sepulveda in Westwood. Norm's Big Night Owl special served from now until 4 o'clock this morning. You still have 4 full hours. And it's served every day from 11 p.m. to 4. All for $2.49. Available at Norm's Restaurant in Westwood. Rather, the restaurant in Westwood. Did I say restaurant in Westwood? Well, it's easy enough for you to say.
KMPC.
They say drinking is good for you. Yes, a little shot once in a while is always good for you. What are you humming for, my dear? Who let you in here? And who's your pal?
It's raining.
It is?
It's pouring.
Really?
My love life is boring me to tears.
I'll join the club, my dear.
After all these years, no sunshine, no moonlight, no stardust, no sign of romance. We don't stand a chance. I always dreamed I'd find the perfect lover, but he
enough. That's enough. Enough. That is enough. Donna Summers and Barbara Streisand at KMPC, and enough is enough. It's now 18 minutes past 12 o'clock at KMPC. Now, Wayne Dubois is producing the show, as I mentioned, but there's another fella here that you've known on this program for a long time, Bud Stalker. He's winding his way home by this time, I'm sure, on his way to Agura. And all of us in this business of radio, the business of show, we get requests from other friends and acquaintances and business associates from different radio stations all over the country to help out and cut me a few things here, and please do this for me. I mean, Gary Owens is inundated. Garish is inundated with radio stations all over the country saying, please do this for me, and here are the call letters, and would you make us some breaks, and we don't have any money. And, of course, Gary is such a wonderful man. He does this. Well, I had a comment from a friend of mine. He said, would you please, we're going to change our call letters at this small radio station out in the desert. Would you please cut us some stuff? And I said, yes, I will. But I said, if we're going to do this, you're going to take care of the people who are involved. I said, Bud Stalker, and I'm bringing up an actress who's going to help cut the station breaks from way down in Long Beach. And I said, I want these people taken care of for sure. I said, we're not going to do that. I said, you don't have to pay me. I'll voice the things, just it's just like for old time's sake, I told the guy. I want Bud to know on his way home that the guy has come through with a real package for him. He's got an all-expense-paid weekend for him at the Palmdale Arms with an afternoon tour in the mid-sun by bus of Lancaster. It's going to be a wonderful, wonderful opportunity for him to see the countryside. It's 20 minutes past 12. This could be Dave Hull here at KMPC. Imagine coming home, finding the sanctity of your home has been violated by an intruder. In other words, you've just been busted into. Or even worse, having an intruder invade your home while you're asleep. Oh, that's got to be frightening, especially to a woman. And a lot of women live by themselves nowadays. They really do. They raise their own children, and that's got to be very frightening to a woman. It's got to be frightening enough for a man. Now, what an upsetting emotional experience this has got to be. It's got to be very frightening. Protect yourself now with the IDS 1000 security burglar system. That's very effective whether you live in a large home or a small apartment. You can't afford to be without the IDS 1000 security unit. It's a portable unit that requires no wiring, no complicated installation. I've got to see this. I've got to see this myself, because in reading this commercial over before I presented this to you on the air, there's some startling things here, which I'll say to you in just a second. And I don't see how anything that's as portable as this could be this secure, but they say it is. The IDS 1000 security system keeps the intruder out before he has a chance to get in. It's 100% automatic. Every door, every window is protected day or night. IDS 1000 is a portable unit, ideal for homes, apartments, and mobile homes. For your safety and peace of mind, you must see this security unit in action. Now, see, this is what it's done to me. I've got to see this to believe it myself. Now, without cost or obligation, you can make a phone call right now. The lines are open at this moment. Now, I know that this is 20 minutes after 12. But if you've heard some thumping in the night, you do yourself a favor by calling 749-0707. That's 749-0707. This is really an unpopular time to live, I suppose. I think I would have liked to have lived around the 1800s, where you didn't have to worry about this, where society was not as screwed up as we are now, where you have to have this kind of a system in your home. But I'm telling you, the 1980s are here, and it's going to get worse. I am not a doomsday sayer. I'm not a person that goes around and tells you that the world is coming to an end tomorrow, but I'm going to tell you now that somebody is eyeballing your place. Now, I had this happen to me. Somebody came up and knocked on my door, a couple of years ago, and asked for directions to Dewarty Road. Now, Dewarty Road in Arcadia is miles away from my house. And I couldn't believe this, and my wife had just left about 10 minutes before in the car. So they were watching the place. I came out in my robe. I was doing some work in the office here. And I said to myself, wait a minute. Nobody comes to anybody's door with tattoos all over their arms asking how to get to Dewarty Road. So I called the police, and they found him busted into a home a couple of miles away. Yeah, they found the place. And I thought that, gee, that's a good deed. But, people do this all the time. They're watching your place right now. I suggest you pick up the phone, 749-0707. If you're saying to yourself, hey, it's a toll call for me, fine, call it collect. That's the kind of people they are. They'll pick up your phone call, 213-749-0707, 213-749-0707. Don't wait a minute. What is it? There's no cost or obligation to come out and show you the unit. If you don't like the unit, tell them pack off. Pack sand. Here's the number again, 213-749-0707. You've got nothing to lose. You better do it now because you might have something to lose when they come in and get the TV. 23 minutes past 12 o'clock. This is Dave Hull at KMPC. Santa Monica reporting 58 degrees. It's 57 in Burbank. Lomita 55. Here in Hollywood 55 at KMPC.
It don't matter to me if you really feel that you need some time to be free. Time to go out searching for yourself, hoping to find. Time to go to find. It don't matter to me if you take up with someone who's better than me, 'cause your happiness is all I want for you to find. Keep your peace of mind. A lot of people have an ego hang up 'cause they wanna be the only one. How many came before? It really doesn't matter, just as long as you're the last. Everybody's moving on and trying to find out what's been missing in the past. And it don't matter to me if your searching brings you back together with me, 'cause there'll always be an empty room waiting for you, an open heart waiting for you. Time is on my side, 'cause it don't matter to me. 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 'Cause there'll always be an empty room waiting for you. An open heart waiting for you. Time is on my side.
It don't matter to me.
It don't matter to me.
1970. That's a bad attitude to have. If you're going around with a chip on your say, hey man, this don't matter to me, you know, I breeze right through this one. It's kind of a bad attitude to have, isn't it? Bread from 1970. I bet it mattered to them when they produced that record. You don't think they had that kind of attitude when they sold 1 million out of that, do you? It's 26 minutes past 12 o'clock. Hello, this is Dave Hull here at KMPC. Gals, if you're suffering from the Monday blues, you're saying to yourself, hey, there's nothing for me to do. I'm just hanging around with the guys. Look at me. I'm just one of the guys. If you're going home and you're saying, look, there's the old man on Monday night. He's watching TV. There he is with that sick television set. He's got it tuned on to Monday Night Football. He's listening to Howard Cosell and complaining again. Anybody that watches and listens to Howard Cosell after a while is complaining again. Why don't they shut that man up? That's what people say when they listen to him. That's what I say, and I'm just like the rest of you. If you're tired of that, gals, if you're tired of seeing the man just sit there and watching and complain about Monday Night Football, how about doing something about it? Get a gang of gals together and head for a sizzling, all-male, bottomless, topless review. Now you're getting someplace, you see. Every Monday night they have a bang-up show. Ooh, ladies, now's your chance to get even with your husband. He's been doing this. He's been carrying on at these kind of places for some time now. The Classic Cat Theater is located at 8212 Van Nuys Boulevard in Panorama City, formerly Stargirls. The first show starts at 8 o'clock. If you're too shy to admit that you got there on your own, that you wanted to see the show, tell somebody you got a dare, and you went on a dare, and you're picking up $10. Women can relate to that. Women can relate to the fact that the girls at the office dared me to come in here, and they said if I did come in here and pick up, say, some matches from here with their little logo on it, then they'd pay me $10. And other women will say, hey, that's kind of cool. Yeah, but then all of a sudden she's sitting there in the front row going, I know what's on your mind. How about dropping by in Van Nuys, just south of Roscoe Boulevard, and see what it's all about? You must be 21 years of age or older. Don't try to get in there if you're 13 or 14. I don't care how you're doing your hair now. Picture ID is required. Telephone this number, 997-8421. 997-8421. They'll tell you more about it. Vending machines can steal a great deal of your time and pleasure, and that's why we like to recommend to you a quality vending machine service company. Boy, they're buying a lot of commercials on this radio program, I'll tell you that. There's coffee, soft drinks, cigarette and coffee vending. There's candy machine. There's a sandwich machine that's a knockout. Oh, I'm sorry. That's a leftover line from the other commercial. 269-0555 is the number to call. Call Coffee Time. They'd be more than happy to bring out one of their trucks, show you all the kind of literature you need to know to show you these different machines. 269-0555.
KMPC.
Gee, am I running late? I don't know why. I just got off on the wrong foot for a change. That's kind of neat.
I've been saving the things you gave me. I've been holding them close to me. All the letters that said you loved me, and the picture of you holding me. And I've been meaning to call and tell you, after all that we've been through, I know what to do with the memories, but I found something here I can't use. What can I do with this broken heart and the goodbye that leaves me nowhere? What can I do with this broken heart and a love I can't get over? I remember the words that were spoken, how we used them so carelessly. What we thought would last forever ended so suddenly, so suddenly. What can I do with this broken heart and the goodbye that leaves me nowhere? What can I do with this broken heart and the love I can't get over? And the love I can't get over. What can I do with this broken heart and the goodbye that leaves me nowhere? What can I do with this broken heart and the love I can't get over? What can I do with this broken heart and the goodbye that leaves me nowhere? What can I do with this broken heart and the love I can't get over? What can I do with this broken heart and the goodbye that leaves me nowhere? What can I do with this broken heart and the love I can't get over? What can I do with this broken?
Hello, this is Dave Hull here at KMPC. It's 28 minutes now before 1 o'clock. All of the big-time radio shows nowadays have a psychologist on the air with them. Have you noticed that? Hilly Rose has psychologists on with him, and they answer all sorts of questions. And I notice some of the other talk shows around town, they always have a psychologist with them. If they're going to do something about sex, then they always bring in a psychologist. Now, Bill Balance was one of the big psychologist bringer-inners. That's a little radio jargon that we use here on the Dave Hull program, psychology bringer-inners. And what he would do is he would take the edge off of his show. You see what I mean? If you have a psychologist in the show with you, you can say just about anything you want to. If you say yourself something that is highly sensual on the radio, then people get ticked off at you. But if it's a psychologist that says that, then nobody gets alarmed at all. At great expense to this program, I'm bringing a derelict in, a derelict psychologist in a couple of minutes from now. Now, I'm going to give you the number to call, 520-KMPC, if you have any kind of a problem at all. Isn't it time? You people who are insomniacs that are up at this time of the morning, you must have some kind of problems. Now, call 520-KMPC, and in a couple of minutes from now, we will introduce you to this psychologist. And he will be in here, and he will answer your questions. I will not be giving you any kind of advice. You've listened to my program before, and you know I'm in no condition to give anybody any advice. But this psychologist is, and he'll be in here in a couple of minutes from now. So don't go away for this. This is going to be a bang-up show tonight, I can just tell. We get these things a spur of the moment, you know what I mean? They pop out of my mind. And in will pop the psychologist in just a couple of seconds. If you have any kind of problem at all, if you have any sexual hang-ups, it's okay with us. We understand. We understand. 520-KMPC. And we'll get to your calls just as soon as they all keep trying to get in here at once. It's 26 minutes now before 1 o'clock. There isn't a phone ringing in the house. Does that tell you something? Say, boy, oh boy, did the owner of Monte Vista Motors mess up. You'd think he was taught lessons by the hullabalooer at KMPC. And he didn't mess up just a little bit either. The owner was used to ordering vehicles for a store that sold about 300 units per month, and he got carried away with it. Monte Vista is a little country store out in Simi Valley, and it can't support the kind of inventory like he's got there. And the only answer is that the owner that could come up with an idea that would move these 79 Plymouths is the owner that's going to save himself a lot of heartache later on. Now, beside the 79 Plymouths, he has Chryslers and Dodge trucks, and he's offering you a dealer rebate program that you cannot ignore. From $400 to a whopping $1,500 for you to use any way you like, just for buying a new 1979 from Monteverde Motors. So head on out to the smog-free Simi Valley while the selection is still good and take advantage of this rebate. If you get lost, well, good luck to you. If you get lost, you can pick up a phone, dial area code 213-991-5320, and get easy-to-follow directions to Monteverde Motors. 983 Easy Street in Simi Valley. There's an Easy Street out there. Easy bargains on Easy Street. You can't beat this. Here's the number again. Area code 213-991-5320. It's good to know that there is one person with a problem, and this specific gynecologist. Is he a guy? No, he's a psychologist. We'll be here in just a couple of minutes. KMPC Sports reports, according to Kelly Flynn, silly sports writing dude, in hockey, Charlie Simmer scored 2 goals to increase his league-leading total to 13 as the Kings skated past the Rangers 4-2 at the Forum. Guess what? The only person with a problem hung up. In pro football, Cincinnati Bengals coach Homer Rice said yesterday he feels that his team can win the rest of their games and go on to the Super Bowl despite the fact that the club has won just 2 of 9 games this season. Cincinnati general manager Paul Brown said he thinks the Bengals have about as much chance of winning the Super Bowl as Homer Rice has of being rehired next season. Oh, I love this. Kelly Flynn is at his best, man, when you leave the guy alone over there at his typewriter at the sports department. Many boys and girls went out this Halloween dressed up as their favorite sports personalities. 2 of the more popular costumes were the Billy Martin costume, which came complete with a pamphlet on how to throw a sucker punch, and the Howard Cosell costume. Kelly, you've outdone yourself now. The Howard Cosell costume, which featured an authentic-sized mouth, which was large enough to hold all the candy the child collected. As far as our weather is concerned, the KMPC Airwatch weather forecast reporting fair skies through tonight, becoming mostly cloudy on Saturday. I like this show. I like Kelly Flynn. He's a nice fella. You'll also like the psychologist that I've hired at great expense to the Dave Hull program, the low-budget Dave Hull Show, who will answer any kind of problems you have. If the line is ringing, keep trying. If it is busy, keep trying. That doesn't seem right. It looked good on paper, but I think I blew the line. Good air quality forecast for the basin. Now, some of the temperatures in the Southland, see, what did I do with those? Here they are. Westminster reporting 61, 58 in Simi Valley, that's the place with Easy Street, and San Diego reporting 61. Here in Hollywood, 55 at KMPC. Do you have a problem? If you do, at this time of the day, if you can't get to sleep, at great expense to the Dave Hull Show, I've brought in Dr. What's-His-Face, and he'll be here in just a moment to answer any kind of problem you may have. 520-KMPC is the number to call. All the big shows have a psychologist. I'm not going to be outdone.
With a beautiful woman, it's hard. buster. Then somebody hangs up when you answer the phone. When you're in love with a beautiful woman, you're going along. Maybe it's just an ego problem. Problem is I've been fooled before. My fair weather friends and faint-hearted lovers, and every time it happens, it just convinces me more. When you're in love with a beautiful woman, you watch her eyes. When you're in love with a beautiful woman, you look alive. Everybody tempts her. Everybody tells her she's the most beautiful woman they know. When you're in love with a beautiful woman, you're going along. When you're in love with a beautiful woman, you watch your friends. When you're in love with a beautiful woman, oh, it never ends.
When you're in love with a beautiful woman. Gee, I like that. Isn't that nice? Haven't heard that for a while. That's Dr. Hook, and When You're in Love with a Beautiful Woman. It's 20 minutes now before 1 o'clock with Dave Hull at KMPC. Dr. Harlow Dorfwanger will be here in a couple of minutes from now to judge what your problem is and to help you absolutely free of charge on the Dave Hull program at 520-KMPC. Now, all the lines are really jammed up. People do have problems, I'm telling you. They want help. People want help. And the reason why they want this help is because they know it's free, and they don't have to spend the $50 an hour to go into a psychologist's office. Dr. Dorfwanger will be here in a couple of minutes from now. Harlow Dorfwanger. Would that be Harlow Dorfwanger, M.D.? I'm sure it would be. This is Dave Hull, of course. No initials afterwards, no matter what you call me. Got a couple of things to tell you about, and then we'll get to Dr. Dorfwanger. He will answer any problems you've got. Say if you're in business and you're saying to yourself, what I need is a Gillette delivery service. Then what you ought to call is not Gillette, but Jet Delivery Service. Since 1950, Jet Delivery has served Southern California business and industry as the Now Delivery Service. Jet's bonded and insured driver specialists are that extra man. I don't think you can say that anymore. I think it's the extra person and the extra van for your business. Whether it's an envelope or tons, they'll pick it up now and deliver it for you now. I've been doing this for over a quarter of a century, and they've been doing it right. I'll do it for you, too. And with Jet's copyrighted Milograph system, you can easily predetermine the exact cost of any trip. Jet's Now service is as near as your telephone. Their number is 749-0123. That's easy to remember, 749-0123. Write it down on a slip of paper and call them tomorrow. Remember, for prompt, efficient, experienced service, call Jet. B1 Jet Delivery, 749-0123. The unique way to do your Christmas shopping and benefit the young people and their needs is the Junior League of Newport Harbor's Christmas Company, November 7th through the 9th at the Orange County Fairgrounds in Costa Mesa. This is Dave Hull at KMPC. The doctor will be here in just a moment. Do we have a sign out front of the radio station saying the doctor is in? We should have that. Dr. Dorfwanger, Harlow Dorfwanger, will be here in just a moment. He's our resident psychologist on the Dave Hull program. If you have any problem at all, call 520-KMPC. We're screening the calls to see how desperate the people are, and only the really desperate people will get in. 55 degrees in Lomita, Burbank 57, 58 in Santa Monica, 55 here in Hollywood at KMPC.
Cool bite in the air, the sun about to break over the horizon, the populace of Southern California about to begin another day. These people are about to make an airborne trip that ends where it begins, but makes life a little easier for thousands of others. This is KMPC's Airwatch Traffic.
You're heading for the downtown area, John? Yeah, I've been here for several minutes here now.
Morning and afternoons, John McElhaney in the Spirit of 710, KMPC's jet helicopter, and Pamela McGinnis in the Big Orange, along with the KMPC Airwatch Traffic Center, makes your life a little bit easier.
You have a second when you give the patrol a call. Tell them we got 3 involved. Airwatch 5. Navy 5.
here. So when you have a chance, give the patrol a call. We got 3 involved. Number 1, southbound Santa Ana at the Long Beach, and it's a hard renter with a lot of damage. Here, 60 IC. Affirmative.
Airwatch traffic exclusively on 710 KMPC.
Lauren Wood is here. And please don't leave.
You have won, take my heart. I think about you night and day. Am I wrong in this game? Sometimes you seem so far away, and I'm longing for your touch. Darling, don't leave me this way. Darling, don't leave me at all. Ooh, you're here and you're there everywhere, but I never know just where you're at. Do your eyes tell me lies? I thought the way you were saying that you were longing for my touch. Darling, don't leave me this way. Darling, don't leave me at all. You are the sweetest thing I found in New York City. You are the sweetest thing I found in LA. You are the sweetest thing I really think you pretty. You are the finest thing that's happened to my life. Ooh, you have won, take my heart. I think about you night and day. Am I wrong? Am I wrong? Sometimes you seem so far away, and I'm longing for your touch. Darling, don't leave me this way. Darling, don't leave me at all. Please don't leave me now. Darling, don't leave me this way. Darling, don't leave me at all. Don't leave me, ooh, don't leave me, darling, darling. Please don't leave me, darling, don't leave me at all. Darling, don't leave me at all.
Please don't leave me. Please don't leave me. Lauren Wood at KMPC. Darling, don't leave me at all. 13 before 1 o'clock at KMPC. It's going to be an exciting moment for us in just a second. Harlow Dorfwinger, MD. I suppose it's MD, medical doctor, sure. I'll be asking him several different questions. Doctor, it's good to have you with us, first of all, here on the Dave Hulk programs.
Well, I thank you very much, Dave. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yes, thank you very much, Doctor. And, Doctor, you could just relax. There is one question I'd like to ask you before we get to our many phone calls. People are just trying to knock the doors down here at KMPC.
Yes, I can see that.
In 520 KMPC, trying to get some kind of help from you. You know, people are insomniacs at this time of the morning. And
Well, and they also can't sleep either.
That's correct, Doctor. Now, there is a difference, I'm sure, between a psychiatrist and a psychologist. Now, you,
Oh,
sir...
yes. Yes.
sir.
About $50,000 a year, in fact, Dave.
$50,000 difference.
Yes.
Fine, sir. Are you a psychiatrist or are you the more profitable psychologist, sir?
Well, actually, I am both of these. I
Oh,
am
fine.
multi-talented,
Oh,
as well as
great.
multilingual.
Oh, fine. So that if somebody wants to habla Espanol, we do here. We habla español
I
on
speak
the
German, yes I do. Thank you.
Harlow Dorfwinger MD portion of the Dave Hull program at KMPC. So if you want your problem solved, Dr. Dorfwinger will be with you in just a moment. Just relax now, doctor. Put down the cigarette. Say, ladies, how much attention are you paying to your body's nutritional needs? Could it be that your inconsistent nutritional habits are not providing the kind of iron and the kind of vitamins that your body demands? If you feel this may be so, get some nutritional insurance. I mean, we're going to practically write you an insurance policy. Just pick up a bottle of Stress Tab 600 with iron. Now on sale at the Little Giant Drugs in Gardena. Stress Tab 600 with iron. Concentrate on the vitamins that your body doesn't store.
I use them too. I give them to my plants and they grow.
Oh, do they really, Doctor?
Yes.
Fine. Well, we'll get into plant growth and some of the specifics of the problems that you have solved with your philodendron, if you'll pardon the expression,
I beg your pardon?
later on, Doctor. With a high-potency supply of B-complex and 600 milligrams of C, plus your iron, your basic folic acid, you get your vitamin E. You've got to start eating your greens. Stress Tab 600 with iron. A touch of womanhood in a high-potency stress formula vitamin at Little Giant Drugs in Gardena. Doctor, I have one more commercial to do. I hope this doesn't offend you in any way, sir. I have to move a vending machine.
I understand this. I've moved several myself the last few days.
Thank you so much, sir. I noticed you have a funny crick in your back. Vending machines. If you want a quality vending machine, you've got to call the Quality Vending Machine Service Company. The full service company at 2690555. You want a candy machine, a soft drink machine, you want a cigarette machine? You could use one, Doc. Puff on, old doctor, puff on. And there's a coffee vending machine. Coffee Time, of course, is the company to call. They are the best. These are the people we like to recommend. 2690555. Doctor, there are several calls coming in now to KMPC at 10 minutes before 1 o'clock.
Boy, they're really hard up.
Harlow Dorfwinger, MD, who is a psychologist, is here with us now at KMPC. We'll take our first phone call. Hello, you're on the air with Dr. Dorfwinger and the Hullabalooer. What a combo. Dr. Dorfwinger and the Hullabalooer. Go right ahead, sir.
Hello, doctor.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm kind of hard up here, and
I beg your pardon, sir.
I'm a little hard up. You know?
That means hard of hearing, sir, or did
Hard
you...
of hearing. Hard of hearing.
Okay, fine. Yes, sir, well, go right ahead. Now, what is your problem?
Okay, our problem is I don't follow through with things I get started on.
Aha.
And, like, for instance, I'm a musician, and I'd like to make my career in music. And it seems like whenever I start writing a song, I'll usually leave it, like, 3/4 done. And I guess it's because of loss of concentration or something.
Well, you know, we will go to the doctor and try to have your problem solved in just a second, but I've noticed, doctor, that a lot of musicians do finally get into music for a career. That's marvelous of this gentleman to pinpoint his abilities, you know, right off. Okay, doctor, the man has a problem. He cannot follow through. A lot of us have this problem. You don't have to be a musician, do you, doctor, to be a person who does not follow through?
Well, anyone cannot follow through.
Very good.
I myself follow through most of the time. No matter what it is I'm not doing, I follow through.
Oh, good. So then sometimes when you're not doing anything at all, you do follow through?
It's just a state of mind.
I see. Well, we would follow through with this particular conversation with you, sir, but Dr. Dorfwinger and I have to go on to the next phone call. I hope you can understand that. Have you been helped in any way?
Oh, definitely. I think my problem has been solved.
Thank you very
It'll
much.
be $50.
And we'll send you a bill. Gee, I have a feeling that the man really wasn't being sincere with us, doctor. I think we've got to delve a little deeper into these problems. We have another problem coming up here for you, Dr. Dorfwinger.
Oh, I'm looking forward to it.
Fine. You're listening to Harlow Dorfwinger with a Hullabalooer, a man who makes a great deal of money solving your problems. If you have one, the number to call is 520-KMPC. Go right ahead. You're on the air with myself, the Hullabalooer, and Dr. Dorfwinger, MD.
Dr. Dorfwinger?
Yes.
Yes. I have a minor problem.
Well,
Oh, good. Well, minor problems, I think, are the doctor's forte.
yes, because I have minor solutions.
Good. Go right ahead, my dear. Could you speak up, please?
Well, I feel like you're talking through a tunnel.
Yes, well, that is one of the problems here with the mechanics at this radio station, hon. We are a little backward here.
Dorfwinger's problem.
No, Dr. Dorfwinger has a lot of problems. One of them is not talking through a tunnel. Hon, that is our mechanics here at the radio station. This is backward KMPC electronically, but we're doing the best we can. We have a small man in the back end of the radio station. He's cranking one of those little machines that put us out over the air. I'm sorry, my dear. I have a feeling I'm butting into your interview time with Dr. Dorfwinger.
Well, my problem is that I listen to Robert W. Morgan in the morning.
Well, now, what kind of a problem would that pose, my dear?
Well, he Morganized Glendale Hoover.
He Morganized what? Now, let me see if the doctor and I... This could be some terminology
I see her problem already.
This could be some terminology.
Being in a tunnel.
Yeah, well, just a second, dear. We're trying to work on that. The little man is pumping as hard as he can in the back room of this radio station. Doctor, we evidently have some terminology that you and I are not familiar with. Evidently, Robert W. Morgan has Morganized Glendale Hoover.
Right.
Now, well, could you tell us what he did
He tried to get Glendale Hoover to beat Burbank Burroughs.
You mean to tell me that he Morganized a school to try to beat Burroughs or Burbank? There's nobody who can beat Burroughs or Burbank. You could Morganize the Los Angeles Rams, hon, and they couldn't beat Burroughs or Burbank.
Well, that's where I have the problem.
What is your problem, my dear?
Well, I'm from the class of '54 of Burbank High.
Well, there's your problem. Certainly is. Doctor,
now you know what my problem was.
Well, fine. Just a second. Just a moment. Would you please let the doctor handle your problem? Would you mind, miss? Go ahead, doctor. I mean, the woman has a serious problem. Her problem is that she was graduated from the class of '54 from Burbank, Burroughs of Burbank. Is that correct?
No.
Gosh, I didn't think that was...
Just a moment. I have a problem myself.
Mr. Hullaballoonsing, I believe the problem was that the Burbank Hoover did not beat the Burroughs High School was the problem, I believe. Is this not correct?
That was it, but I was pulling for Hoover Glendale.
Mm-hmm. Okay, fine. Well, we know what your problem is.
Well, you see, the thing that should have been done...
What should I do about it now, though?
What do you mean, what should you do about it now, my dear?
Well, I put all my money on the Morganizing.
Oh! Have they played the game already?
Oh, yes.
How badly did Glendale get stomped, my dear?
Glendale got creamed.
Creamed. Well, then, of course, there'll be a lot of ball players probably calling the radio station here at KMPC.
They should have about 3 weeks ago.
Yes. Thank you very much, and thank you so much for calling us here. Dr. Dorfwinger, we're sorry to call a halt to your portion of the show. Harlow Dorfwinger, M.D., answering problems at KMPC. We wonder if you could come back and join us some other time.
Well, that would be my pleasure. I am working on my Ph.D. at the moment.
Oh, just a moment, sir. Hello. Were you waiting for Dr. Dorfwinger?
I got a problem, man.
Yeah, well, sorry, but the doctor is out now. Thank you for calling. If there's any one of the rest of you listening, I'm sorry. Doctor cannot take any more patients. Is that correct, Dr. Dorfwinger?
That's true.
Now, you were saying, I'm sorry, sir, I had invited you back again.
Well, my qualifications, I have a Ph.D., a BA, a CBS, a PBS, and an LSD, so I am fully qualified to be on your show.
Yes, you certainly are. Thank you very much for coming by, Doctor.
You're doing your share. You're showing that you care. You're doing your share at Ralph's. We're doing ours.
At Ralph's, doing our share means bringing you more and better ways to save, like the double value coupons you'll find in Ralph's newspaper ad. If you have manufacturer's coupons worth $1, at Ralph's they're worth $2. If you have manufacturer's coupons worth $2, at Ralph's they're worth $4 when you buy the items. All the coupons and details are in the big Ralph's newspaper ad. So clip them out and head for the savings at Ralph's.
You're doing your share at Ralph's. We're doing ours.
Coupon offer good through Wednesday, November 7th. Thank you so much, Doctor. We'll hear from you again, I'm sure. I'm fearful we will be hearing from you again, sir.
Feelings. Nothing more than feeling. Trying to forget my feelings of love. teardrops rolling down on my face, trying to forget my feelings of love. I've never met you, girl. You'll never come again. Feeling, whoa, feeling, whoa, feeling. Again in my arms, feelings like I've never lost you, and feelings like I'll never have you. Again in my life. Again in my heart.
Thank you so much, Dr. Dorfman. I have a feeling that this is going to be the start of something terrifying. All part of the Dave Hope program at KMPC. Harlow Dorfwinger will be back on Tuesday night. Dr. Dorfwinger has a PhD, a BA, a CBS, and an LSD, and fits right in with the rest of the characters on the Dave Holt program. He'll be back, of course, on a Tuesday, and I hope your problem will be not solved by then. 1 o'clock, this is KMPC, Los Angeles.
From the World Desk of United Press International, this is Craig Smith. The Senate has voted to make some big changes in banking laws to help fight inflation. The idea is to encourage people to save more. Details from Elliot Brenner in Washington.
If it's bothered you that your bank has the money from your checking account there to lend other people, and you aren't getting anything for it, there's good news from the Senate. The Senate Thursday voted to legalize interest-bearing checking accounts and gradually increase the amount of earnings on passbook savings. That legislation also attempts to ease the mortgage money crunch facing home buyers in some states where there are ceilings on home loan interest rates. The action was needed because earlier this year, a court rejected proposed changes approved by banking regulators, but the court delayed the effect of its ruling until Congress could act. The House has already passed a bill on the issue, and the differences will have to be worked out in a conference committee. Elliot Brenner, Washington.
And you're listening to UPI World News. One thing that's aggravated the gas crunch on occasions is that the gas isn't always where it's needed. Some cases in point from Peter Donnelly.
Drivers waited for up to 45 minutes to fill their tanks in Washington, D.C., as did motorists in the New York metropolitan area. And some stations in suburban New York had the red flags flying, meaning they were out of gasoline. Some dealers in Milwaukee cut prices at self-service pumps by 8 cents a gallon. The move is designed to increase sales and not have the problem of having gasoline allocations for October left over at the end of the month. Standard Oil of Ohio told its dealers to begin operating 7 days a week because of a gasoline surplus. One source in Cleveland says Ohio officials are urging dealers to get the gasoline out, move it. Ohio says we're not promoting consumption. This is a service to the public. Dan Lundberg, a Los Angeles gasoline analyst, says the oil companies are treating gasoline like a crop. And when we have a slight bumper harvest, everybody wants to move it out of the market. Whatever happened to conservation? Peter Donnelly in New York.
It looks like the death toll will be 31 from the collision yesterday in the Gulf of Mexico between a freighter and an oil tanker. 27 crewmen are still missing, but their chances are not good. The Coast Guard is trying to cool down the hull of the oil tanker in hopes of preventing another explosion. The collision happened off Galveston, Texas. There is some danger of pollution. Senator Ted Kennedy's presidential campaign seems to be going full steam. It's picking up big money and big backers. Tom Foote reports from Washington.
The Kennedy presidential campaign only geared up for business this week, but in just a few days it has raised nearly $250,000 in contributions, and that is more than twice the amount needed to qualify for federal campaign funds. Word of that came as Kennedy picked up the support of the 275,000-member International Union of Electrical Workers, the first major labor organization to formally endorse the Massachusetts Democrat. And Kennedy has also picked up the backing of the chief attorney for the Federal Elections Commission, who has resigned to join his campaign. One thing Kennedy did not pick up was a presidential invitation to attend next week's state dinner in honor of Irish Prime Minister Jack Lynch. Kennedy has turned down that invitation from President Carter, saying he'll be out of town. Tom Foote, Washington.
Another Republican has joined the race for his party's nomination. Senator Howard Baker of Tennessee, the Republican leader in the Senate, says he is the 9th candidate to join the race. In South Africa, a policeman has been killed and 2 others wounded early today when terrorists bombed a police station in Soweto, a black township near Johannesburg. It seems like nothing is safe these days, not even tea with lemon if you drink it in the wrong cup. Jim Rando explains from Boston.
Another potential cancer hazard has been spotted right there in your teacup. That is, in your polystyrene foam cup with lemon tea. At the University of Connecticut Health Center, researcher Michael Phillips has found that a combination of tea with an average-sized slice of lemon will cause a plastic cup to dissolve and perforate before one's eyes. The lemon tea, touching the polystyrene, produces a chemical reaction, apparently, dissolving the polystyrene, a known carcinogen in animals, right into the lemon tea you were planning to drink. Until there's proof otherwise, says Phillips, writing in the New England Journal of Medicine, tea lovers should drink lemon tea only from cups of fine-bone china. Plastic cups are okay, apparently, for regular tea only. Jim Randall in Boston.
And from the World Desk of United Press International, I'm Craig Smith.
Thank you, Craig. Here's Stephen Bishop next, 1977. 5 minutes past 1 o'clock with Dave Fuller, KMPC.
Down in Jamaica, they got lots of pretty women. Steal your money, then they break your heart. Lonesome Sue, she's in love with old Sam. Take him from the fire into the frying pan. On and on, she just keeps on trying. And she smiles when she feels like crying. On and on. Sits alone in the moonlight. He saw his woman kiss another man. So he takes a ladder, steals the stars from the sky, puts on Sinatra and starts to cry. On and on, he just keeps on trying. And he smiles when he feels like crying. On and on. Toss up my heart to see where it lands. On and on, I just keep on trying. And I smile when I feel like dying. On and on, on and on, on and on. On and on, on and on, on and on. On and on.
27. Gee, it was nice of Dr. Dorfwinger to come by. He'll be here Tuesday night. Tuesday night, Dr. Dorfwinger, M.D., Ph.D., B.A., C.B.S., L.S.D. will be here at this radio station again at KMPC. Oh, add those 4 letters to the back of your name, Dr. Dorfwinger. M.D., Ph.D., B.A., S.C.B.S., L.S.D., KMPC. So if you want to get a problem, I would suggest you go out and seek one out over the weekend and don't solve it until Tuesday morning, or let's see, that would be early Tuesday morning or Wednesday morning. Whenever the doctor gets back here, he'll first head right here to KMPC. It's 8 minutes past 1 o'clock. This will be Dave Hull in your radio now. You found it. This is 710. The Biggie. We are so good and we're so right.
Turn and kiss your face, and you laugh at me. You laugh at me. How do I feel? Well, I feel like praying, feel like saying, feel so good, so right to be with you tonight. So good, so right to be with you tonight. So good.
She'd love to be with you tonight. She'd be so good and she'd be so right. Brenda Russell at KMPC. Hello, this is Dave Hull. Do you know what a 280Z is? It's Dolly Parton's bra size. It's 11 minutes past 1 o'clock at KMPC. I'm sorry, I just thought I'd throw that out there. It's early in the morning. I have a list of those things that I'm supposed to throw out once in a while. That was one of them I should have really thrown out. Federico Garcia Lorca's Dona Rosita will be performed in English and Spanish alternately by the Bilingual Foundation of the Arts at the Intercity Cultural Center. I have no idea what I said, but it sounded good. It flowed well. When you got your timing down and things are flowing well, it doesn't matter what you said. People just say to themselves, he must know what he's talking about. Thursday through Sundays through December 9th. For information, telephone 225-4044.
I'm John Amos. America's greatest resource is you. If you're over 60, you can share your talents by joining RSVP, the Retired Senior Volunteer Program. Contact your local RSVP.
Here is a classic for you. Remember this? Bob Dylan back in 1966. This record is over 20 years old, and it still sounds good today.
Nobody feels any pain.
Wait a minute, this isn't 20 years ago.
Till I as I stand inside the rain.
My calculator's gone out on me again.
Everybody knows that baby's got new clothes. But lately I see her ribbons and her
Now that I think about it, it doesn't sound that good anymore.
from her curls. She takes just like a woman. Yes, she does. She makes love just like a woman. Yes, she does. And she aches just like a woman. But she breaks just like a little girl. It was rain from the first, and I was dying of thirst, so I came in here. And your long-time curse hurts, but what's worse is this pain in here. I can't stay in here. Ain't it clear that I just can't fit? Yes, I believe it's time for us to quit. And when we meet again, introduced as friends, please don't let on that you knew me when I was hungry and it was your world. Ah, you fake just like a woman. Yes, you do. You make love just like a woman. Yes, you do. Then you ache just like a woman. But you break just like a little girl.
Just like a woman. Bob Dylan, 1966. Hello, this is Dave Hull here at KMPC. Boy, it's turned cool all of a sudden, hasn't it? I'm going to give you the temperatures in just a moment. You're not going to believe this. It's cool outside. And, of course, with the winds, it kind of brings the coldness right to your bones. Boy, it feels good. You know, there for a while, I was sick and tired of the hot weather. I was waiting for it to get cool. And now that it's gotten cool, I kind of wish it'd get warm again. I'm just that kind of a person. I'm a typical Californian, never satisfied. You know what I mean? I'm a native Californian. I was born and raised here. And during the hot weather, you always wait for the rain and you wait for the cold weather to get here. Then when the cold weather gets here, you start complaining about that. I'm no different than anybody else. During the hot weather, I went to Baskin Robbins, sit on the flavor of the month. Well, I'm a kinky guy. 16 minutes past 1. Imagine coming home and finding the sanctity of your home has been violated by an intruder. That means somebody's busted through the back end or kicked your door in. Now, that's talking language we can understand. There's nothing worse than finding out that somebody has been into your home and they've messed things up, they've torn everything out, they've thrown it around the house, they've maybe scarred things up, and they've stolen things that mean more to you than they would to them. Because you know what they're going to do with them. They're going to sell the stuff off. And to you, it may mean many, many years. Could be keepsakes, things that were given to you by your mother who's perished. And this is the worst thing people can do, is burgle a home. Well, after you get through the emotional experience of it all, it's got to be terrifying. It's got to be terrifying. You say to yourself, okay, I'll never let this happen to me again. I'm going to install a security system, or I'm going to do this, or I'm going to have somebody sit with the house. But then it's too late. It's too late by then. Your chances of being hit again are probably a lot less than they are right now if you haven't been hit so far. You can protect yourself, though. The IDS 1000 security burglar system is here. It's very effective, whether you live in a large home or a small apartment. You can't afford to be without the IDS 1000 security unit. It's a portable unit that requires no wiring, no complicated installation. These are a new sponsor, too, by the way, on the Dave Hull program. We'd like to welcome him here to 710. The IDS 1000 security system keeps the intruder out before he has a chance to get in. It's 100% automatic. Every door, every window is protected day or night. IDS 1000 is a portable unit, ideal for homes, apartments, and mobile homes. And I know what you're saying because I said the same thing. I don't believe it. I have to see this to believe it. Anything that's this portable, doesn't require installation, doesn't require wiring, cannot work properly. That's what I said. You have to see it for yourself. How'd you like to be able to see it for yourself? No cost, no obligation, no high pressure. Nobody's going to come over knocking on your door later. You say you don't want the system, they'll believe you and leave. If you do see that this is going to be something for your home, your mobile home, maybe your apartment, especially if you've got a place in the mountains. Are you a weekender in the mountains, maybe Big Bear or Arrowhead? And you say to yourself, I'm never 1,000% sure that somebody isn't tinkering around. How'd you like to have the feeling of being down here over the weekend and not having to worry about it at all? How'd you like to be able to see the system work in your own home? Absolutely free, no cost, no obligation. Here's what you do. You call a telephone number. It's 749-0707. That's 749-0707. If it's a toll call, you call to collect. Simple as that. 213-749-0707. 213-749-0707. I'll tell you one thing. It'll give you a feeling of relief just by making the phone call and knowing that the people are coming out to your place to show you what it's all about. It's 18 minutes past 1 o'clock. This is Dave Hull at KMPC. Some of the temperatures now in Tarzana, 55, 53 in Long Beach. South Bay beaches, that's Redondo, Hermosa, Manhattan Beach, all 57. 54 in Hollywood at KMPC. Our own KMPC entertainment editor, Steve Arvin's been out running around, watching a movie called Running.
Michael Douglas and Susan Anspach star as Michael and Janet in Running, a made-in-Canada investment special. Its serious ending evokes some laughter. Some of it is right out of Rocky, but it's not all bad, like the scene in which Michael excoriates an unemployment clerk for her uncivil service. Michael is a quitter. He tried medicine, law, and shoebiz and blew them all. Toothy but true-hearted Janet decides to divorce the drag so he can find himself. Michael stays close, jogging daily from his rundown Manhattan digs to the house in Queens, and then running alongside his bike-riding daughter all the way to school. Their older daughter drives in with Janet, embarrassed by her pace-setting papa, although don't we know he'll soon make them all proud as a peacock. It does sound a little TV-like at that. Michael was a runner years ago, but failed to show up for the big one. Gutless, said his coach, the same guy coaching the Olympic marathon this year. And that's what the aging but determined Michael is after. He gets through the trials on a fluke and goes to Montreal for the Olympics. But can he lick the fear of failure that has ruined his marriage? Although isn't that Janet right there in the stands, ready to take him back and not marry the sleazy car salesman after all? The story's a little soapy and the ending's a little dopey as Michael, looking like the last cabbage in the patch, tries to overcome injury and cliché to renew his life. Douglas and Anspach could have been terrific in a love story. This is just the saga of a man and his Adidas. Running needed a writer, not just a runner. Give it a B-. Steve Arvin, KMPC Entertainment.
I think that's the greatest line of all. A man and his Adidas. Hello, it's 21 minutes past 1 o'clock. Thank you, Steve. I like you. Did he like the movie? I don't think so. A D+ is not a real biggie, you know what I mean? Here's the Captain Antonio. And do that to me one more time. What an invitation from KMPC.
Do that to me one more time. Once is never enough with a man like you. Do that to me one more time. I can never get enough of a man like you. Oh, kiss me like you just did. Oh, baby, do that to me once again.
got you near. Oh, say those words again, like you just did. Oh, baby, tell it to me once again.
She just looks like a woman that would say that to some man. Do that to me one more time. But it's not what you think. She probably means scratch my back or something innocent like that. Or turn the fire off in the bathroom or something like that. I don't know what this means any more than you do, except that it doesn't appear to me that she would be the kind of a woman that would say, do that to me one more time, and that would be that. You know what I mean? It's 25 minutes past 1 o'clock at KMPC. Hey, the owner of Monteverde Motors really messed up. I'm glad to see somebody else screwed something up other than the hullabalooer. You know what I mean? I've been messing up my life most of my life. And he didn't screw this up just a little bit. He really did a bang-up job of it. You know, you don't say bang-up job around a new car dealership. The owner was used to ordering vehicles for a store that used to sell more than 300 units a month. And he got a little carried away. He ordered in all these cars. Monteverde is a little country store out in the Simi Valley. It can't support that kind of inventory, you know what I mean? The only answer then that the owner could come up with was to move these 79 Plymouths and Chryslers and Dodge trucks by offering you a dealer rebate program that you cannot turn down. From $400 to a whopping $1,500 for you to use any way you like it for buying a 79 from Monteverde Motors. $1,500. How'd you like to have that in one lump sum? And they hand you the check then. I mean, you go ahead and finance and use the bank's money, which isn't a bad idea after all. And in most cases, now I don't know, I'm ad-libbing this. I hope I'm not wrong here, but I have a feeling that your car is going to be the down payment anyway. That's usually the way it works. So the bank's going to finance the rest of it. You get yourself a brand new car. The dude hands you $1,500. Whew. Man, oh man, can we talk about going out someplace, the two of us, and we could really hang one on for that kind of money. Why don't you head on out to smog-free Simi Valley, where the selection is really great. Take advantage of the rebate. Now, don't wait until all the 1,500 dealies are gone. You don't want a 400 dealie, $400 deal. Well, that's nice, but you don't want that one when you can pick up $1,500. Now, if you get lost on the way, a lot of people do that to Simi Valley. Pick up the phone, dial Monteverde Motors, area code 213-991-5320, 991-5320. Get easy-to-follow directions to Monteverde Motors, 983 Easy Street in Simi Valley. Easy terms on Easy Street, man. Can't go wrong with that. It's 27 past 1 with Dave Hull at KMPC.
KMPC.
What a classic classic this is. Been waiting for this for a long time. The year 1977, remember? Andrew Gold did it. What a smash. Lonely Boy, 27 past 1 with a hullabaloo.
He was born on a summer day, 1951. And with the slap of a hand, he had landed as an only son. His mother and father said, what a lovely boy. We'll teach him what we learned. Oh, yes, just what we learned. We'll dress him up warmly and we'll send him to school. It'll teach him how to fight to be nobody's fool.
That's Andrew Gold from 1977. That is a very well-produced record. And I don't know where they came up with a beat like that, but isn't that great? And I love that record. And I gotta play it again. I very rarely do this where I play the same record as an oldie, because nothing ever really turns me on that's an oldie. The new ones do. I like those to hear them again. But boy, isn't this unique. I love this. And listen to the lyrics in it, too. The year was 1977. The sound was Andrew Gold at KMPC.
On a summer day, 1951. And with the slap of a hand, he had landed as an only son. His mother and father said, what a lovely boy. We'll teach him what we learned. Oh, yes, just what we learned. We'll dress him up warmly and we'll send him to school. It'll teach him how to fight to be nobody's fool.
break your heart if you listen to the lyrics. Andrew Gold from 77 and Lonely Boy. This is Dave Hull at 25 minutes before 2 o'clock. Had to play that one again. It's one of my favorite oldies. But to listen to the lyrics, poor kid. He was born in the summer of 51. That'd make him, 28 years old now, and the song was done in 77, so he was 26 at the time. The guy was lonely even at 26. And his parents were the ones that did it to him. And his sister, who caused some of the loneliness in his life when she came into the world in 53, she has since grown up and raised her own son, who also is a lonely boy. Whew. That's heavy stuff, man. I'm telling you got to listen to the lyrics nowadays. Just don't sing along with them. Listen to what's happening. Well, Kelly Flynn, he's been happening down at the KMPC Silly Sports Desk. The KMPC Sports reports here with the Dave Hull Show in hockey. Charlie Simmer scored 2 goals to increase his league-leading total to 13 as the Kings skated past the Rangers 4-2 at the Forum. Well, that's not very silly. When he was sitting at the Silly Sports Desk, that silly typewriter didn't pound anything silly out on that story. But wait till you hear the next one. In pro football, Cincinnati Bengals coach Homer Rice said yesterday he feels that his team can win the rest of their games and go on to the Super Bowl, despite the fact the club has won just 2 out of 9 games this season. Cincinnati general manager Paul Brown, meanwhile, said he thinks the Bengals have as much chance of winning the Super Bowl as Homer Rice has of being rehired next season. It's marvelous, man. It's the way general managers are. I mean, what's a GM for? Many boys and girls went out this Halloween dressed in their favorite sports personality get-ups. 2 of the more popular costumes were the Billy Martin costume and the Howard Cosell costume. The Howard Cosell costume is the one that features the authentic-sized mouth, which is large enough to hold all the candy that the kid collected in one gulp. And the Billy Martin costume, that's the one that came complete with a pamphlet on how to throw a sucker punch. You're okay, Kelly. You can ride my silly sports anytime, big guy. KMPC Airwatch weather forecast calling for fair skies right through tonight, becoming mostly cloudy on Saturday. High in the middle 70s. Good air quality forecast for the basin. Some of the temperatures now in Woodland Hills, it's 57, San Diego 60, City of Orange 60, Miracle Mile 59, 54 in Hollywood at KMPC.
We'll be shadows in the moonlight, darling, I'll meet you at midnight. Hand in hand we'll go, dancing through the Milky Way. And we'll find a little hideaway where we can love the whole night away.
Christmas in the Moonlight. 20 minutes before 2 o'clock at KMPC. This is Dave Ho. Ted Dawson on Channel 7 had some great highlights of Burroughs of Burbank High School, who is the number one school in Southern California as far as great high schools are concerned, playing great, outstanding football. They're just rolling over everybody. They're number one in the Northeastern Conference, I believe, but they could be number one in just about anybody's conference. He had some great shots of them tonight, kicking the stuffing out of some other school. It didn't give me the final score, but I was a referee in one of their games with Burroughs and Hart, and the final score was 42-0. And that's the way. It's not only Hart High School, it's every high school that has to play Burroughs or Burbank. I tell you, they are something else. There's a lot of great high school football. And the shots of these kids playing, you know what I like about high school football, better than college football, is that the fact that many of the players that play high school football will never go on to anything else. Many of them will never have an opportunity to play big college football. You know, and so consequently, this is their last hurrah. And you ought to get out there and see them play. There's only 3 more weeks, you know, of the regular season. It doesn't seem possible. It sounded like football just started a couple of weeks back, and it did, but we're down to the 7th week now. There's only a couple of weeks for you to take it in. The Don McKenzie crew, of which I'm a part, and Tony Coretti and Bob McQueen and all of us head for, Pioneer High School. That's a neutral site for Montebello and Santa Fe. Ought to be a great football game for us this Friday. That's tomorrow night. Or is that tonight? It really is tonight already. It's Friday already. Tonight at 7:30. And whether you come out and see this game between Montebello and Santa Fe or any of the games in Southern California with the CIF, I can tell you this much. You'll see great, exciting football. Because the things that they do today, they cry just as much, they yell just as loudly, and they scream and jump up and down and carry on just like they used to do when we were kids. And if you'd like to recall those days, when you see the lights on at a field in your area, stop by, pay $1.50, and enjoy 2 of the best 2 hours you'll ever enjoy in years to come. Say if you're in business, there are times when you need a delivery service, right? And right now, Jet Delivery is operating to help your business. In Southern California since 1950, they've been serving business and industry as the Now Delivery Service. Jet's bonded and insured driver specialists are that extra man, the extra van for your business. Whether it's an envelope or tons, they'll pick it up now and they'll deliver it for you now. They've been doing it for over a quarter of a century, and they'll do it for you. And with Jet's copyrighted mileograph system, you can easily predetermine the exact cost of any trip. They tell you in miles how much it's going to cost you. It's easy to remember as far as the phone number is concerned. It's simple to me, 7490123. It's simple for me because I've got it written right here in front of me. But that doesn't seem like too tough a number to remember. And I don't know why guys give you phone numbers, because you can never remember them anyway on the radio. Jet's Now service is as near as your telephone. Their number is 7490123. If you can't remember it, look them up in the white or yellow pages under Jet Delivery. For prompt, efficient, experienced service, call Jet. Jet Delivery, 7490123. It's 17 before 2 o'clock. Hollywood Presbyterian Medical Center is presenting a conference on the mothering experience, Saturday, November 10th. For more information, telephone 660-3530.
KMPC. Everybody likes a celebration, happy music and conversation. I'd be lying if I said I didn't have the blues. In the corner there's a couple dancing. From the kitchen I can hear her laughing. Oh, I wish I was celebrating too. Shine sometime. I need didn't have to sit and listen. She's playing the same old songs on the stereo. She's been lying since the day I met her. I'd be better off to just forget her. Oh, I would rather be lonesome all alone. I know this night won't last forever. I know the sun got to shine sometime. I need some hope for a bright tomorrow to show this heart is gonna mend just fine. Such a ridiculous situation, pretending there's nothing wrong. She's coming on with the invitations. I wonder who is taking her home. I know this night won't last forever. I know the sun got to shine sometime.
Michael Johnson and This Night. 13 before 2 o'clock at KMPC with Dave Hull. Well, if you're saying to yourself, I need a place to eat, how about Norm's Restaurant? There's one in Torrance, you know. Have they got news for you? Well, first of all, I should tell you that Norm's is the South Bay area's most popular all-night restaurant. When Wayne Dubois lived in Torrance, that's where he always headed, to 186th Street and Hawthorne Boulevard. He knows every one of the girls in that place, backwards and forwards. Wait a minute. Can you say that on the radio? I don't think you can. He knows all the gals there. Now, Norm's is the South Bay area's most popular all-night restaurant. He's not allowed to go there anymore. Yeah, well, you know, I tell you, he's moved out of the area. And it's just too doggone far from North Hollywood to Torrance. So he goes to the one out in Westwood. He was exiled out of the Torrance one over to the Westwood one. But we'll talk about that later. Right now I want to tell you about what he left behind. He left behind a legacy for the rest of us. Some of the nicest people in the world still chuckle at the South Bay's most popular all-night restaurant, Norm's, at the corner of 186th Street and Hawthorne Boulevard, about Wayne Dubois. They've got stories they can tell you about this man you're not going to be able to believe. Why don't you drop by and ask him to tell you a few of these stories? And while you're there, you may as well have the all-night super special, the Night Owl special, from 11 o'clock until 4. Now, you're going to get a lot of food, and it's a good thing because they got a lot of stories to tell you about this guy, and you're going to need a lot of coffee. So, will they keep your coffee cup filled? You bet they will. You get all the coffee you can drink, 3 freshly cooked eggs, cooked any way you like them, 3 strips of bacon, 3 link sausages, a huge mound of hash brown potatoes, a golden English muffin, and jelly. They even give you a little patty of butter. If you want some butter, they'll give you that. You want some salt and pepper, they'll hand you the shakers. And that's one of the reasons why he was asked to leave. He was always talking to the girls like that, you know what I mean? Anyway, for $2.49, you're going to get the greatest meal of your life at Hawthorne Boulevard and 186th Street. Norm's right there. The Big Night Owl Special. Served from now until 4 o'clock this morning. You still have 2 hours and 10 minutes to take advantage of it. Every day of the week for $2.49. It's available at Norm's Restaurant in Torrance. The late night spot to be if you want some good food. Ooh, let's see here. We got a little word here about ourselves as we pack our... No, we don't pack off. We don't do that for another 10 minutes. As we break our arm patting ourselves on the back.
Welcome to the KMPC I Pledge Talent Auditions. One of you will be selected as the official voice of KMPC's I Pledge contest. All right, can we have the first talent up, please? Go ahead. Hit it.
KMPC. Oh, boy. KMPC.
I don't believe it. Oh, no. Thank you very much. You can sit down now. Thank you. Don't call us. We'll call you. Next, please, sir. Would you get up there? Thank you.
Okay, here we go. You ready?
Yes, go ahead.
Oh, I pledge to listen to KMPC. I pledge to listen to KMPC.
Okay, that's
So you
plenty.
want?
Yeah,
Can I do more?
thank you.
That's it?
Sit down. Thank you very much. Hello, what's your name?
Olga Craves.
Oh, yeah? Oh, what do you do? Sing, dance, tell jokes, and...
Oh, honey, it doesn't really matter, does it?
No, step into the office, please.
Look for I Pledge coupons in the paper. Fill out the coupon, send it in. Then listen for us to announce your name. When you hear us call your name, call us within 7 minutes and 10 seconds, and you win whatever fabulous prize we're offering that hour. I Pledge, exclusively from KMPC.
Are you sure you can get me into show business?
No, yeah, with your talent, sure.
Yeah. Yeah, with her talent. Boy. It's now 9 before 2 at KMPC.
Now here you go again. You say you want your freedom. Well, who am I to keep you down? It's only right that you should play the way you feel it. But listen carefully to the sound of your
Pleasant dreams. You know, why settle for blurry snapshots? Boy, that is provoking to me when you open up a bunch of new snapshots. And of course, you go down there anticipating that everything's going to be great, to see a trip or maybe just family shots or whatever. And you open it up and everything is smudged and it looks terrible. That really ticks me off. One of the reasons, of course, has got to be the camera you're using. The Pentax ME makes 35mm photography as easy as set, focus, and shoot. Riviera camera and Reseda camera can show you how to get professional results every time with a fully automatic Pentax ME. ME Magic needles make film loading a snap. You have all the fun while the Pentax ME electronic brain does all the work. Drop into Riviera Camera in Redondo Beach and Reseda Camera in Reseda and pick up your Pentax ME. Say if you're unemployed and need help finding work, call 985-7882. Write this down. Write this down quickly. 985-7882. You may be eligible to earn while you learn a challenging new job. Call Project Heavy. That's 985-7882.
Every now and then I cry. Every night you keep staying on my mind. All my friends say I'll survive. It just takes time. But I don't think time is gonna heal this broken heart. No, I don't see how it can if it's broken all apart. A million miracles could never stop the pain or put all the pieces together again. No, I don't think time is gonna heal this broken heart. No, I don't see how it can while we are still apart. And when you hear this song, I hope that you will see that time won't heal a broken-hearted me. Every day is just the same, playing games, different lovers, different names. They keep saying I'll survive. It just takes time. But I don't think time is gonna heal this broken heart.
broken-hearted me. Wayne Dubois was with us. He's French, you know, and you know what they say about the French. I don't know, but you know. Kelly Flynn, Silly Sports Writing Fool, thank you so much. Our thanks to Harlow Dorfwinger, MD, BA, PhD, CBS, LSD, and all the other credits to that man's background. The Hullabaloo now heads tonight for Pioneer High School with the Don McKenzie crew, Tony Correni, Bob McQueen, the Hullabaloo guy. I'll be in the middle being run over by everybody for that game between Montebello and Santa Fe. UPI News is next, then Sonny Melendres will see you around the corner. I'll be back Saturday afternoon from 3 until 6. Keep a smile on your face till then, because it makes them wonder what you've been up to. This is KMPC, Los Angeles. 2 o'clock.
From the World Desk of United Press International, this is Nick Charles. South African authorities are reporting this morning that terrorists attacked a police station in Soweto, killing 1 police officer and injuring 2 others. In Washington, the State Department is concerned about the military overthrow of the government in Bolivia. Tom Foti reports.
The United States is not pleased by the events in Bolivia and is saying so. With a military coup unfolding in that South American country, the State Department has issued a warning saying any move that might disrupt Bolivia's constitutional process could adversely affect relations between Washington and La Paz. Bolivia's somewhat precarious democracy was a key theme stressed by Secretary of State Cyrus Vance during his 4-day visit to La Paz last month. During that visit, Vance met with Bolivian civilian and military leaders and urged them to continue the efforts toward more democracy in that region of South America. The current coup is apparently led by an Army colonel who reportedly was invited to that meeting but did not attend. Tom Foti, Washington.
You're listening to UPI World News. The new Kennedy for President Committee says it has raised $225,000 in just 4 days, enough to qualify Kennedy for federal campaign funds. Roger Gittins reports President Carter, who lost the support of Chicago Mayor Jane Byrne, still thinks he can drum up Democratic backing in the Windy City.
Chicago politics is a walk on the wild side, but President Carter is chancing it to salvage an important political prize. Mr. Carter let it be known he'll field his own slate of delegates in Cook County rather than stand by while the Kennedy camp nails down the backing of the old Daley machine. The president invited one of the late mayor's lieutenants in for lunch yesterday. Afterward, Representative Daniel Rostenkowski indicated to reporters he believes the Chicago Democratic Organization should stay uncommitted. Spokesman Jody Powell is following up by reminding Daley-era loyalists that a key Kennedy operative engineered their expulsion from the 1972 Democratic Convention, an ouster that the Georgia delegation, led by Jimmy Carter, opposed. Roger Gittins at the White House.
Senator Howard Baker of Tennessee, who formally announced his candidacy yesterday for the Republican presidential nomination, takes his campaign to New England today and tomorrow. Secretary of State Cyrus Vance is due to arrive this morning in Seoul, South Korea, where he'll head the list of foreign dignitaries attending the state funeral for President Park Chung-hee, who was assassinated a week ago today. The late President Park will be buried tomorrow. The Labor Department will be out with the unemployment figures for the month of October. UPI's Merle Cox reports most economists are predicting the jobless rate will be higher.
The happy news for the administration today would be an unchanged or a lower unemployment rate. That kind of report from the Labor Department would be especially welcome after the news yesterday that wholesale price inflation is still very much on the rise. Unemployment has been the brightest spot on the economic front of late, but most forecasters say it can't stay that way for too long. Analysts both in and out of government say they expect the unemployment rate to creep up before the end of the year. They differ in their expectations on how much it will rise, but they do agree it will happen. The unanswered question is when it will begin. Merle Cox, Washington.
The Senate has approved a bill giving banks, savings and loan institutions, and credit unions the authority to offer interest-bearing checking accounts. The measure also provides for the gradual ending of the federal ceiling on savings account interest rates. Many people on Social Security will be pleased to hear about a change in federal regulations. Details from Ted Shields in Washington.
Good news for the elderly who want to keep working. The Social Security Administration has announced people 65 to 71 can earn up to $5,000 a year without losing any of their benefits. That's a $500 a year increase over the current levels. For people under 65, the annual earnings level will go up $240 to $3,720. People over 72 can earn any amount of money annually and still receive their full Social Security benefits.
The higher ceiling on earnings means more than 1.5 million older Americans will share some $280 million in additional benefits next year. Ted Shields, Washington.
Opera star Beverly Sills sang her farewell opera performance last night at the New York City Opera. World-famous soprano decided to retire at the age of 50. From the World Desk of United Press International, this is Nick Charles.
Thank you, Nick, and this is Sonny Melendres. 5 minutes past 2 o'clock. It is Thursday night, Friday morning. Are you ready to have a good time? Stop the world.